Hey guys, you're the Rager. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And this is a video that I thought I'd make because I need to get this off my chest. I need to say this to somebody before I lose my effing mind. Okay? So basically, this video is about the whole Kevin Spacey, Roy Moore, Weinstein, all these, all this stuff coming out of, lately with all this sexual predator stuff and the Me Too campaign and all this. And I just have to say, this is such bullshit. I'm sorry, but okay. That's maybe not the best way to start this. So let's try and keep it a little intellectual to start, and then I'll ramble on to my ranting later. But let's take a look at what's happening. Right, we have people like Senate candidate Roy Moore. Sorry, not Ray, Roy. Roy Moore, who is a senator from Alabama or a candidate for a senatorship from Alabama. I'm not too sure, but all I know is I've seen some of his policies. He's a despicable right-wing bastard. But that being said, I don't think he's a sexual predator. And then you have Kevin Spacey say, okay, so left-wing Hollywood dude. Okay, so again, I don't think he's a sexual predator. And then there's Weinstein, who might grant you Weinstein a bit because there had been reoccurring stuff, right? Now, here's the thing with all of these though. All of this is accusations, allegations, and hearsay. Nothing legal here. There's no legality. There's nothing that legally holds water here. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. Because let's break this down. Okay, so we have basically Kevin Spacey, right? We have this Anthony Rapp guy come out who nobody's ever fucking heard of, right? This guy that I've never heard his name, I've never seen his face, and now all of a sudden, now that he's on Star Trek Discovery, now he starts saying things. Why didn't you say something before if you're so important? Oh, now we're gonna listen to you. Yeah, right? Like, come on. And he starts saying these things like, oh, Kevin Spacey. So let's break this down. This entire thing, this is exactly what Anthony Rapp said. He said that 30 years ago, I was at Kevin Spacey's house alone when I was a minor. So let that sink in. I was at a house party alone as a minor. Okay. Surrounded by alcohol. And then a drunk Kevin Spacey tempted to touch me inappropriately. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're accusing a man of something, number one, he did 30 years ago, so you already can't convict on that. It's been way too fucking long, right? You can't, unless you have severely hard evidence, there's no testimony, no eyewitness stuff that could possibly be used, because it's been way too fucking long. Number two, you already said he was drunk, which means that not only is there a good chance Kevin Spacey don't remember, Kevin Spacey is in no way going to remember if you say he's drunk. If he was drunk in this scenario, there's no way he could know, like, what the fuck you're talking about. And here's the kicker, though. Kevin Spacey didn't try to deny any of this. He said, look, I legitimately don't remember, and if this did happen, if I was drunk and that happened, then I'm sorry, but I don't remember. It's been 30 years, and like you said, I was drunk. That's what Kevin Spacey told him. And here's the thing, is the guy's not even seeking anything like legal or anything. This is straight defamation of character. He's just trying to undermine Kevin Spacey for no fucking reason other than popularity. And then, after he says it, conveniently, a bunch of other people come out of the woodwork saying it. Same case in Roy Moore, right? Roy Moore. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum, right? Kevin Spacey, liberal Hollywood, actor. Go to the other end of the spectrum, right-wing, conservative senator. Right? Same allegations from, so long ago that it's, like, fucking slipped everybody's mind. There's nobody on this planet that could remember that far back. And if you do remember that, then, okay, like, how are you going to convict that? You have no evidence. You have no traces of anything. You don't have any sort of you have nothing to work with. Nothing legal. Any judge on the planet would look at that and go, that doesn't make sense. You can't just come in here saying things, right? But it doesn't matter to everybody now. It doesn't matter to society because we've already found him guilty. We, the people, we in society have already found him guilty in the eyes of civilization, right? Like, our communities have already found him guilty. All these people are like, they accused him of something. And several people accused him of something, even though this could legally never hold any water, but he must be guilty. Okay, here's the thing. We had Donald fucking Trump okay, go on record saying that he sexually harasses women. Nobody lost their shit over that one. That was locker room talk. Now, this is not a partisan issue, right? You had Bill Clinton, for example, with the whole fucking the affair in the White House thing, right? With the one secretary chick, right? But even then, it wasn't. He didn't get in trouble for the thing. He got in trouble because he tried to lie about the thing. He tried to cover it up. He tried to say it didn't happen. It's like, okay, hold on. What the fuck? You know? We have these people who were in positions of power who actually broke the law, and we're going to court for it. Donald Trump was going to court for the university scandal. Did we forget that? Did we just magically forget that Donald Trump is a criminal? Was never found guilty? Well, I'm sorry. Actually, hold on. Let me rephrase that. He is innocent until proven guilty. So he was never found guilty, so he is not a criminal, right? To be fair. But he settled the case 10 days before the election, which just proves you're fucking guilty because you don't want it coming up. You don't want to go to court with it because you don't have a defense. You have too much evidence against you, right? So we have a man who is now the most powerful man in the free world who actually broke the law and actually conned people. He's elected a president who actually said, yeah, you know, I grab women by the pussy. I don't even wait. I don't even ask them first. I just do it because I'm a star and they let me do whatever I want when I'm a star. But God forbid, you know, these allegations come out against Roy Moore or Kevin Spacey, right? What the fuck, people? Are we judge, jury, and executioner now? Is that how society is supposed to work? No. We have laws. We have courts for a reason, okay? If you think Kevin Spacey's guilty, why don't you take a gun, go to his house, and shoot him? Why would you do that if you think you're so guilty? Or here, better yet, you know what? To keep in tune with our laws, go through the legal process. Go look up what somebody in that position of having sex with an underage individual, like, look up what the punishment for that should be, and then you take Kevin Spacey, kidnap him, and hold him for that period of time. Oh, you're not going to do that? Then shut up. If you're not going to try and, you know, apply this guilty verdict onto Kevin Spacey physically, then don't do it verbally. Because all you're doing is defamation of character, which, by the way, is actually slander and is a violation of the First Amendment. Now, you would have to find it in a court of law that you did it intentionally with defamation and all that, but the point remains. With Roy Moore and Kevin Spacey and Weinstein and all these allegations of this Me Too bullshit, I get it. We got to listen to the victims. I get it. You don't want to not believe them. But let's have an investigation first. Let's investigate these claims, see if there's any evidence to back them. If there's no evidence and it doesn't hold up in court, if it can't go to court, then it can't go to court. Then there'd be no point in bringing it up because all you're doing is political mudslinging at this point. You're just smearing the guy's name for no reason. For what? For fucking what? And I can tell you why Anthony Rapp did it. I'll tell you right now. Because he wants to be famous. And if he goes down as the guy that brought down Kevin Spacey, that started the whole, you know, string of allegations against him, you know, the guy that was brave enough to speak out against Kevin Spacey, that's what he's going to go down for. That's exactly how people are going to remember him. That's what he wants to be thought of. He wants people to think of him like that. It's exactly why anybody does that in this position. That's why anybody would do that. Okay? And, you know, there's this thing called the statute of limitations on rape cases. The reason somewhere like New York has the statute of limitations is, you know, it's 5 years, right? You got 5 years to report it. If you don't, it can't be used. It can't go to court. Because, here's why. If you take too long to report it, number one, all the evidence is basically gone, right? You know, unless you have physical hard evidence that has been stored for the case, right, from the rape kit. And number two, your brain is gone. You can't, you know, no one is going to expect you to be able to remember anything from that night. Now, you can say you remembered all you want, but, you know, actors, ironically, actors do this all the time on camera. They can say whatever they want, how true or untrue it is. Actors play roles all the time. Now, not saying that victims do, and I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is, you can make shit up, right? You can just make shit up. like right now, I guarantee. Let's watch this. I bet if I went out and said, in 2005, which I believe would put me at about 9 years old, in 2005, I met Kevin Spacey at Disney World, and he took me behind a dumpster and tried to touch me, and then I ran back to my mom. Is that gonna fly? Should I be believed? Even though Kevin Spacey and me were not in Disney World at the time, you can't prove that he wasn't there. Oh, but it's on me now. The burden of proof's on me. Okay, so let me get this straight. I can't make an exaggeratory claim like that unless I'm famous. Is that it? I can't just make claims unless, like, here's the thing. You don't see this anywhere else but in the public eye. In science, in laws, in anything that has real world accomplishments into it, in real world structure, and any sort of structure or legal process or anything like that, and any sort of review, then you see the process of, oh, you're claiming something. You must provide evidence for your claim. This happens in the science world. That's why something like the theory of evolution, the reason it's still a theory and not a law is because it hasn't had enough evidence to be proven true yet, right? That burden of proof is on the person. If I make the hypothesis that if I, take this cup, for example, if I were to take this cup and pour it out, right, and turn on its side, it would pour the liquid out from it onto the floor, and then the floor would be wet, right? That's my hypothesis. I would then have to go through that experiment to prove that that's true. I can't just make shit up. I can't just say 2 + 2 is 5 and have 2 + 2 be 5. I have to prove, how does 2 + 2 become 5? How does that work? How does that work? It sickens me that people would actually... Now, I get it. Let's have the investigation. I'm not trying to say we shouldn't listen to the victims. If there are victims, sure. Somebody makes an allegation, somebody makes an accusation. Go ahead. Listen to it, right? Listen to it and say, okay, well, what evidence do you have? What had happened? See, people will clam up then, because if they can't push it in law, if you bring in the law to it and say, okay, you want to make a claim that Kevin Spacey assaulted you, Mr. Rapp. So when did this happen? What happened? What, where, and how? When, where, and how, right? And he's like, well, it was 30 years ago. Kevin Spacey was drunk. I was at his house alone. I was underage, so my parents just let me there for some reason. And then, yeah, that's what happened. And then he tried to touch me. That's what happened. It's like, every lawyer on the planet will laugh at you. They will look at you like you're fucking crazy. There is no case to be made there. There's no precedent. There's no legal precedent for that. Because it's been 30 years, the guy was drunk, and he fucking... Am I the only sane person on this planet anymore that thinks that maybe we should follow due process before we just start defaming people? Before we just start saying, oh, yep, they dropped him from House of Cards. They dropped him from a bunch of other stuff. Everybody's distancing themselves from this because it's our fault. It's society's fault that they're having to distance themselves. It's not their fault that they have to back away from this. Because they know Kevin Spacey, in the eyes of the public, is already guilty. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And Roy Moore, who is running to be a senator, right? Is, and what they've said is, okay, you need to back down, you need to step down because of these allegations. That's part of politics. You're going to get rumors, you're going to get allegations about you. Now, do I still want him to run? Absolutely, I want him to run. I hate the man. I want him to lose. I want him to lose because he's a piece of shit. I don't like him, but I'm not going to call him a sexual predator without evidence. And that's what all this boils down to. You need evidence. You need hard truth and facts, not this allegatory bullshit, okay? All these accusations of this #MeToo campaign and all this. Conveniently, they wait like so long that you can't do anything about it anyway. And then, and I'm not blaming the victims for waiting so long. What I'm saying is, if you're going to say something, fucking say something. If you, right... And I actually made this post on Facebook one time saying, hey, with the whole Kevin Spacey thing, let's calm down a minute. Let's have, this is kind of, Rapp's fault for not reporting it. And how you can't expect me to sit here and believe a guy talking about an incident that happened 30 years ago, right? With no evidence. And he's like, oh, well, and somebody actually got snippy with me and said, if you would think differently if it was your daughter in Rapp's place. And I'm thinking, no, I wouldn't. Absolutely not, I wouldn't. I would not think that. I would think my daughter is an idiot. Should have come forward the second that happened. And if my daughter had something like that happen to her and she didn't come forward, and she waited 30 years, I would look at her and go, why are you doing this? You had your chance. You had 30 years. Why is it 30 years conveniently? Why is it just now? Like, I mean, obviously, Rapp knew it was something that was wrong and something he didn't want. So you're telling me he didn't go home and tell his parents about that? Was he thinking, oh, it was just, Mr. Spacey was drunk. Yeah, whatever. I'll just forget about it. It's fine. So then you conveniently forget about it for 30 years and now bring it up. Just as the show you're on, is starting to happen. It's almost like it's a publicity stunt. And conveniently in Roy Moore's case, these people say nothing until it's an election year. Now, I'm not saying somebody set them up to say that. I'm not saying that it's a big conspiracy. I'm just saying these people waited until just the right time just to stir up some shit and some drama just to have their name in the newspaper. This is what that is. It's bullshit. Now, if Kevin Spacey's found guilty and there's evidence and there's, all this shit that backs up Rapp's claim, and in Roy Moore's case, if there's all a bunch of shit that backs that up, I will tell you, yep, they both need to go to jail. If there's evidence that finds them guilty, put them away for life, because those people are horrible and they should never do something like that, right? That's a terrible, terrible thing to do to somebody, is to, prey on an underage individual, prey on anybody, but especially a child. That is messed up. But I'm not going to hang a man before the judge bangs the gavel. I'm not going to be the guy to go out there and, and rah in the streets, we want justice. Justice for what? We haven't proven anything yet. Meanwhile, in America, we have proven cases of police brutality, proven cases of, unjustifiable homicide in the line of duty by police officers who, and they're just getting off scot-free. Now that's injustice. That you should focus your efforts on. This social justice warrior bullshit of, oh, we have to believe the victims. No, you don't. You don't have to believe anybody when they say something. You need to believe someone when they have evidence for something. And like I said, I'm not blaming the victims. I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm saying is, let the victims come forward, let it go to court, and let the court sort it out. That's why we have these things. If you're accusing somebody of a crime, you take it to fucking court. Okay? You don't find him guilty in your eyes the second, somebody says that he committed a crime. How would you like it if I came up to you and said, you littered yesterday, I saw you. No, I didn't. No, you did though, because I said you did. How fucked up would that be? How fucked up would that be? For somebody to just go up and start, spewing this and that, saying they're breaking the law. And that's why we have libel and slander laws, is so people can't do that rampantly and just say whatever they want about somebody, when it comes to accusations like this. I mean, Jesus. But like I said, let's have the investigation, right? By all means, let's have the investigation. Put Kevin Spacey back on House of Cards. Let Roy Moore get on with his election race. Let's have this shit go to court. Let the judge and the jury figure it out, okay? Weigh the evidence and the testimonies and shit, and see, what's still there. Let's shake up the case and see what falls loose, or what's the term is escaping me. There's a little there's a phrase for this, and I can't think of I can't think of what it is. But yeah, basically let's see what's still standing. Let's not knock over Kevin Spacey's House of Cards just yet, shall we? Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, obviously people are going to disagree with this opinion a lot, because, the majority of people online are already like, oh my god, Kevin Spacey, oh my god, it's so horrible. Oh, it's like, yeah, because you're thinking the wrong thing. You're thinking about this the whole wrong way. But I don't know. If you disagree, go ahead, leave it in the comments. We can debate about it, all day long. But that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then do usual. Like, subscribe, check out my streams. I will see you guys in the next video. Reaper the Rager, signing off. God, I cannot believe I had to make this video.